From the station working for you, this is Good Morning Indiana, streaming now.
Good morning, I'm Lauren Casey. The time right now is 4:27 here. It's Monday morning. Thanks for starting your work week with our team here on Good Morning Indiana. We have several stories to talk about today before we get into the show officially. So let's kick it off with the number of COVID cases. These were reported yesterday at the lunch hour. So the latest death toll is over 3,000. We had 6 new deaths reported on Sunday by the state health department. When we're speaking about the number of new cases reported, we had 880 new cases reported on Sunday, bringing the total number of cases that are positive since the pandemic started here in Indiana back in March. That's more than 93,000 at this time. So we'll be breaking down the numbers and seeing what that means as we join the show here on Good Morning Indiana. Something else that's going on today is the Overdose Awareness Day. And we know that so many people have lost their lives to overdoses. And so yesterday we joined folks here at the Indiana State Museum to talk about this issue. And they also hosted a training for distributing naloxone, a life-saving measure there for many people across our state. We're going to be hearing from a family that's lost their child to overdose and also lost another relative, and how this impacted them and hopefully prevent these situations from happening in the future. Let's take a turn right now to our own Alyssa Donovan. She is joining me in studio today. Alyssa, it's great to have you here. We had beautiful weather yesterday.
Yes.
Wow, last night was gorgeous. What can we expect as we wake up this morning?
Yeah, we had that nice low humidity forecast yesterday. Actually felt a little cool when you stepped outside yesterday morning. A little bit similar today. Temperatures starting in the 60s by the afternoon. We'll be in the low 80s. We'll continue to see those calm conditions. For the most part, we're going to stay low with that humidity. We'll start to see it creep up a little bit this afternoon, but it's really going to be another nice start to our work week with those temperatures in the low 80s, just a smidge below where we should be this time of year. Now, as we head through the work week, we are going to see some changes back in the forecast. Potential of storms returns to the forecast tomorrow evening.
All right, Alyssa, thank you so much. And then in our Rebound Indiana series, we're taking a look at a restaurant down in Greenwood and how the owner had to pivot during the pandemic to stay afloat. We know several businesses had to close for periods of time, and that was really tricky to people in the service industry. So we're going to show you how the pandemic changed things for Reverie down in Greenwood, and how some loans, some hustling by the owner, by the community, by the government distributing those loans, how that made it possible for the Reverie owner to start a whole new business during this time. We'll have that story plus news, weather, and traffic to kick off your Monday coming up right here on Good Morning Indiana.
From the station working for you, this is Good Morning Indiana, streaming now.
An investigation is underway this morning after 2 IU organizations say they were racially targeted. Now at 4:30, what went wrong and what university officials are doing to stop this from happening again. Substance abuse takes the life of a number of Hoosiers each year. This morning we're looking at how today is set aside to prevent more lives from being taken. And hitting the roads to help our 4-legged friends in need. How an event over the weekend hopes to give dogs a brighter future. Let's take a look right now at our forecast. It is Monday. We want to welcome you into Good Morning Indiana. I'm Lauren Casey with Alyssa Donovan in for Todd Clausen this morning. Alyssa, what do you got for us this morning?
You know what? It's going to be a really nice day, Lauren. We are really set for the day, starting with those temperatures in the 60s right now. It's 64 degrees in Indianapolis. We have those light easterly winds. That humidity fairly low, feels right around where it should feel with those temperatures in the 60s this morning. Now, we do have a system just off to the southeast of us that's moving through Cincinnati. Most of us are going to stay dry this morning. Can't rule out maybe a stray shower for southeast counties this morning, but most of us will start the day dry and end the day dry. So what's going on is we have high pressure in control today. That is going to change as we head into tomorrow. We're going to see the potential of showers and storms late in the forecast for your Tuesday. Then we'll continue to see a few chances throughout the week. So get outside and enjoy today. It's going to be a great one. 82 degrees for the high with mostly sunny skies.
All right, Alyssa, thank you so much. Let's take a look at traffic as you're heading out on the roads early this Monday morning. This is a live look right now down in Johnson County, I-65 at Main Street in Greenwood. Looks like our camera's freezing up just a little bit here, but traffic is quiet, traveling up to speed both northbound and southbound. No issues to slow you down. So let's take you up to the northeast area here, I-69, State Road 13. You can see traffic moving northbound and southbound on I-69. It's traffic traveling up to speed, no problems. In the Pendleton area, no problems as you're heading closer to Indianapolis. That is great news for your drive this morning. An investigation is underway down in Bloomington after two minority organizations at IU say they were racially targeted. The incident happened over a Zoom call as the organizations were trying to recruit new members. This morning, WRTV's own Troy Washington explains what went wrong and what the university is doing to address those concerns.
It's like, do you see these comments, what they're saying?
NAACP members couldn't believe their eyes or ears as they watched and listened during a Zoom meeting.
It just really sucked for both of our orgs because we were just trying to get our name out there and just tell the incoming freshmen, like, you know what our org is about, and we couldn't even do that.
Jenny Coleman is a junior at IU Bloomington. She's also the NAACP secretary.
And not only did it happen to NAACP, but it happened to another Black organization as well called Campus Quarrels and Coils.
By it, she means students mocking the Black Lives Matter movement. WRTV has blurred the comments because they aren't appropriate for broadcast. We also can't let you hear the recordings now circulating on Twitter of people making fun of the words, "I can't breathe," one of the last statements George Floyd made before dying.
We did have some students that did want to learn about NAACP, but they felt uncomfortable as well, so they start leaving the Zoom call on their own. But with everything going on now, I do feel like that was like another reason why people felt comfortable just coming into our Zoom meetings about it. And I kind of felt like they didn't think we were really going to do anything about it, like report it to the school.
But both organizations say they aren't letting this go. In fact, the university says they aren't taking it lightly either.
I just wanted the people that did do this just to know that they didn't hurt our org. If anything, they made us stronger and want us to continue to go harder and everything. But IU is working on it right now, and it's going to get handled.
Working for you in Bloomington, Troy Washington, WRTV.
Troy, thank you. In a statement posted to Twitter, the university's superintendent for public safety says the racist, aggressive action through Zoom is unacceptable. University police and the university's information technology service are now trying to identify the people who were involved. Now, continuing our coverage of the coronavirus pandemic and its impact here in the state of Indiana. This morning, the state health officials report 6 more deaths since March. More than 3,000 Hoosiers have died from that virus. On Sunday, health officials reported 880 new cases of COVID-19. Meaning since the start of the pandemic, more than 93,000 Hoosiers have tested positive for COVID-19. The Bureau of Prisons says it's seeing a concerning uptick in coronavirus cases here in Indiana. This morning, the Bureau reports nearly 100 coronavirus cases at the federal complex out in Terre Haute. 47 of those are for the minimum security facility. Another 47 are reported at the maximum security facility. Last week, there were only 12 reported cases at the Terre Haute complex. The IPL building on Monument Circle is lit up purple for Overdose Awareness Day. Today is a day to acknowledge the grief felt by families and friends whose loved ones have died from a drug overdose. On Sunday, lives lost to an overdose were remembered at the Indiana State Museum Overdose Lifeline. They hosted this event, and organizers say they wanted to give grieving families and friends a place to be together and not feel so alone. We talked to a couple who lost their 25-year-old son in June of last year to substance use disorder. A month later, their sister-in-law also lost her life to substance use disorder. They say that they hope to prevent another family from experiencing the same tragedy.
Erasing the stigma, it never meant as much as it has to us since we've experienced our loss, and now it's become more prevalent to ourselves, seeing how society has stigmatized mental illness and substance abuse now for many, many years, and we're slowly starting to see that be erased, but there's still a lot of work to do, right?
By families not discussing it, they're implying that there's something wrong, there's a flaw, a character flaw with their loved ones, when in fact, addiction and or mental illness, it's a disease.
Right.
It's a brain issue, and we were proud of our son.
Yeah.
He tried very hard, and we're proud of everybody that fights this battle. With this, there's often no care plan. With other diseases, there is a care plan.
A naloxone training session was held as part of this event. Organizers say it's especially important during the coronavirus pandemic. According to the state's Next Level Recovery report, there's been a 60% increase in naloxone administration compared to last year. This morning, police in Tippecanoe County are investigating a drowning. This happened Sunday afternoon at Wildcat Creek Park. Authorities say the 11-year-old was swimming with her brother when she went under the water. The family searched for about an hour before a bystander called 911. The girl's identity has not been released. This morning, police say that a southern Indiana judge has died following a plane crash. The crash happened early Saturday morning out in Lawrence County, Illinois, that's near Vincennes. Police say that Knox County Judge Ryan Johanningsmeyer was the pilot of the small plane. He was also the only person on board. Police realized that there was something wrong when Johanningsmeyer did not land at the Illinois airport as scheduled. Officials say it was foggy when that plane crashed. The incident is now being investigated by the FAA. More than 100 motorcyclists hitting the streets for a ride to benefit an organization that's dedicated to saving pit bulls. The ride started at the Indianapolis Southside Harley-Davidson location. All money raised goes directly to Lucci's House Bully Rescue. When we caught up with riders in New Whiteland, there was an accident. Organizers say that a woman on her motorcycle blocking traffic for the group was hit by a car. She is expected to be okay, but despite the somber ending to the ride, those we spoke with say it's important to do what they can to raise money.
Well, you got to keep doing it. Because you love the dogs and you hate people that mistreat them and they need help.
All of the money raised will be used for vet bills for dogs at Lucci's House Saves. In 65 days, Americans head out to the polls to cast their ballots in the general election. Still ahead, the outrage building here on Capitol Hill surrounding in-person election security briefings. Plus, Takuma Sato looking for back-to-back wins as IndyCar heads to St. Louis. We'll recap an exciting weekend of racing coming up in just the next 10 minutes. Alyssa.
And we are in store for a really nice start to our week. Today is going to be a gorgeous day. Temperatures in the low 80s. Humidity will start building this afternoon. That's going to lead to some showers and thunderstorms for midweek. I'll have all the details coming up next.
Welcome back. The time right now is 4:42 here on your Monday morning. Let's take a look at traffic. I-70 near State Road 267. This is an area where we've had that ongoing construction on the ramp system from 267 to eastbound I-70. You can see traffic there down the interstate is traveling smoothly, both eastbound and westbound. No crashes in this area to slow down your commute. So a new showdown is brewing between the White House and Congress. As ABC's Inez de la Cotera reports, it follows a top intelligence official suddenly canceling in-person briefings about the threat of foreign interference in November's election.
This morning, outrage on Capitol Hill after the director of national intelligence announced a halt to in-person briefings on foreign interference in the election, saying the agency will instead brief Congress in writing.
You have leakers on the committee. Obviously, leakers that are doing bad things.
President Trump praising the move, claiming it was needed because Democrats leaked intelligence about Russian interference, but Democrats now threatening to subpoena Director of National Intelligence John Ratcliffe, forcing him to testify on election interference.
Yet again, another lie by the president. And, of course, as you point out, it's a logical inconsistency to say, well, we're going to put it on paper so it can't leak, rather than speak to the Congress.
It all comes as a new ABC News Ipsos poll shows last week's convention at the White House failed to give President Trump a boost. Less than 1/3 of voters have a favorable view of him, his favorability even dipping among Republicans. In contrast, Joe Biden saw his support among Democrats climb after his convention, his favorability among all Americans now at 46%. Overnight, Biden's team announcing his plans for later today in Pennsylvania. With fresh protests emerging around the nation, Biden's campaign revealing he plans to deliver a speech centering around the core question facing voters: are you safe in Donald Trump's America? President hitting back, writing that Biden's team is rushing him out of the basement after seeing some very disturbing numbers, while pushing his law and order message while in New Hampshire.
Those are anarchists, they're agitators, they're rioters, they're looters.
And this week, President Trump plans to travel to Kenosha, Wisconsin, which is at the heart of this new wave of protests in the aftermath of Jacob Blake's shooting. Wisconsin's governor asking Trump to stay away and not hinder community healing. Inez de la Cotera, ABC News, Washington.
Election officials across the country are looking to each other for ideas on how to handle this upcoming election. Some are finding ways to expand access to voter registration, while others are testing out new equipment or considering outdoor polling locations. It comes as the coronavirus pandemic threatens to close or cut hours to current polling places, and some voters facing the possibility of being stuck in quarantine when the election rolls around. Well, some doctors are asking that the FDA not be the only ones who review the coronavirus vaccines. They're worried many people won't trust its approval after it's fast-tracked to many things during the pandemic. Doctors want the public to trust the vaccine and to be encouraged to get it. They're calling for an independent commission from the government to be created. It would review data from coronavirus vaccine trials before it's allowed to hit the market. Some sad news this morning out from the Gulf Coast. Authorities say 17 people have now died from Hurricane Laura. Health officials say that a 57-year-old man died from head injuries sustained in a fall from a roof. Another person died of carbon monoxide poisoning. 3 people in Texas died of carbon monoxide poisoning and had a generator running. At 4:45, let's get a check of our forecast back here at home. Alyssa, it was a beautiful weekend. What can we expect as we start a brand new work week?
We are going to see a very nice start to our week. Those temperatures are going to be in the low 80s. Humidity is starting low this morning, but we are going to start to see that climb a little bit as we head into the afternoon, and it is going to climb tomorrow as well. That is ahead of some thunderstorms that will impact us tomorrow afternoon and evening, and we'll continue to see the potential of storms throughout midweek. The possibility of severe storms is going to happen tomorrow afternoon and evening. Behind that, though, much cooler and drier, pleasant conditions. We are going to see lower humidity by this coming weekend, and temperatures are going to drop off quite a bit. We'll be back into the 70s by Saturday. Right now, 64 degrees in Indianapolis, partly cloudy skies. Feels just like 64. That humidity not really a problem right now, but we are going to see that climb a little bit throughout the day. Winds fairly light out of the east, about 7 miles per hour. And you can see on our radar, not a lot going on. We do have just this cluster of showers and storms to the south of Cincinnati. We can't rule out maybe seeing a stray shower for extreme southern counties this morning, just as that system brushes past to the southeast of us. But most of us are going to start dry and stay dry throughout the day, and that's due to warm air starting to rotate into the atmosphere here. So what's going on is we have high pressure coming in from the north, and that's mixing with that low pressure that's just to the south of us, which is why we do have just that small potential of some showers to the south. But most of us will start dry today, and we'll continue to see that high pressure and control throughout the day. What that's going to do is we're starting with some cloudy skies this morning, that small chance of a stray shower, and then we'll start to see that clear out by the afternoon and evening, and then overnight we'll start to build in a little bit more cloud coverage as some moisture moves in from the north. So by tomorrow morning, potential for some patchy fog, as well as those chances of showers and storms moving back into the forecast later tomorrow. Small chance of showers for your Tuesday morning. Our better chance will be by the afternoon. But today, it's going to be a great day. You don't have to bring that umbrella with you. Pleasant start. Temperatures in the 60s this morning. We'll be into the mid 70s by the afternoon, and then we'll start to see more sunshine later today. 82 degrees for our high. Now looking ahead to the next couple days, tomorrow, that's when things change. We have those storms moving in late in the day, likely in the afternoon, and evening is when we'll see that potential of severe storms. We are under a marginal risk for tomorrow, and of course we'll keep you updated on that. But this is a good time to get your Storm Shield app, so just you are aware of what's going on in the forecast if we do see those changes. Wednesday, continuing to see some lingering storms possible, and then we'll see another system move in on Thursday. Now this one's going to bring some cooler air, so we are going to cool down by Friday and Saturday. We're going to see some calmer conditions, drier conditions, and those temperatures back in the 70s.
All right, Alyssa, thank you so much. Let's take a look at traffic right now as you're heading out on the roads. Here's a live look from our INDOT traffic camera over on the northeast side at I-465 near Pendleton Pike, where traffic is moving along just fine this morning. As you can see, all the lanes are open here. We'll continue to keep our eyes on your roads in this spot for your commute, but now let's take a turn down to the southeast side. This is I-74, a view near Thompson Road, where traffic is moving along just fine as well. We'll keep you updated if there are any spots you need to avoid. Well, Indy 500 champion Takuma Sato looking to make it 2 weekends in a row with wins. The drivers were back on the track at the Worldwide Technology Raceway near St. Louis for a doubleheader. On Saturday, just as the green flag waved, a crash sent out a caution. Oliver Askew, Simon Pagenaud, Alexander Rossi, and Marco Andretti all included in that pileup. They had to sit out this race. But the final laps of the race proved to be the most exciting. A dash for the checkered flag for Scott Dixon and Takuma Sato. It looked really similar to the past Indy 500. Dixon holds off Sato by 1,000th of a second in the second closest finish ever at the track. The race marking the 50th win for Scott Dixon. On Sunday, Dixon looked to sweep the weekend and win number 51, and Takuma Sato looking to make up for Saturday's lost ground. He led the first 59 laps of the race before getting stuck in traffic and ultimately hitting a wall with 4 laps to go. It was defending NTT Series champion Joseph Newgarden and Pedro Ward with the race out to the pits to win. Newgarden gets his second win at the Gateway under caution. Following the race, he did have some good things to say about Award.
It was really fun racing Pato out of the pit. That was for the win right there, was that race. We went side by side out of the pit exit. He did an amazing job. He's really he's going to do great things, I think, in this sport.
Well, Sunday was the final race for Tony Kanaan's TK's Last Lap Tour, where he competed in all the oval races this season. TK says he's hopeful to come back for the Indy 500 next year and have a proper last lap with the fans. The NTT IndyCar Series heads back out to Indy for the next 2 races. It'll be a doubleheader on the road course on October 2nd and 3rd. The season wraps up on the streets of St. Pete on October 25th. A Rhode Island teenager is using her social media power for the greater good. We're 4 minutes away from hearing how she used TikTok to help a homeless woman. Plus, IPS students continue to learn away from the classroom. So coming up in the 5 o'clock hour, the latest tool the district is using to help with remote learning. It is 4:51. Stick around. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Let's get a look at traffic as you're heading out on the roads right now. This is I-465 at Meridian Street on the north side. You can see traffic there is moving along up to speed in all directions. Pretty quiet still up that way. We'll continue to keep our eyes on your roads throughout the morning and keep you updated on any issues. So despite hurricane conditions, nurses and other staff members at Lake Charles Hospital, Louisiana, kept their most critical baby patients safe and sound. The team of 20 stayed behind while Hurricane Laura tore through that city. They cared for 19 babies in their NICU, some of them on ventilators. Others had been born extremely premature. Many of the infants had been in the town's smaller women's hospital. They had to be transported through the rough conditions to a larger facility where they rode out the storm. Pretty incredible. So a homeless woman in Rhode Island is getting quite a surprise thanks to a social media influencer and her followers. 21-year-old Tara Harris noticed that Jolivet Gonzalez was living on the streets of Providence for the past few years. Tara has a large following on TikTok, and she wanted to use her platform for the greater good. So she asked her followers to donate what they could to help donate $1,000 to Gonzalez. Harris reached her goal in about an hour and then filmed the surprise to show who the money was helping.
She was shocked. She was just looking at me like, what? I was like, I'm not kidding, I swear to God. And I showed it to her. She was like, oh my goodness, thank you.
I was so surprised. It was something so dramatically unexpected.
Well, Jolivet says that she had just lost the love of her life 4 months ago, and this act of kindness has restored her faith in humanity. This morning, she says she's saving the money and plans to spend it on a place to stay. Very cool. All right, we do have some good news in the forecast for our Monday. Alyssa Donovan is standing by. What can we expect?
That's right. It's going to be a gorgeous day. We're starting a little cool this morning. Those temperatures in the 60s, and you'll notice it's pretty dry outside. That humidity hasn't started to build in just yet. 82 degrees for our high today. We'll see some sunshine later today, starting with a little bit of cloud coverage this morning, though. And then we do have some chances of showers and storms returning to the forecast on Tuesday. We'll continue to see those throughout the midweek before we cool down by the weekend.